Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on the 1.5 miles of Texas Motor Speedway, fresh off of the short track at Martinsville, where we saw Rajah Caruth pick up his first Cup Series win of his Cup Series career. As you see in the part-timers this weekend, you got the 67 for 2311, that's John Hunter Nemechek, as well as a 10 for Colleague Racing Derek Kraus in the cars. We got the target colors back on our number 8 for JRM this weekend as we look at Hendrick Motorsports, and the two winners this season for Hendrick Motorsports were the two drivers that didn't win at the team last season. This season, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, both who made the Final Four last season and both won many races, have yet to find victory lane halfway through this regular season. Now, it's been a wild first half of a regular season. We talked about it last episode that basically Charlotte on throughout the rest of the regular season, things are going to kind of start to look a lot more normal. I expect to see Kyle Larson to start to rack up some wins and get some playoff points with stage wins as well, and same for Chase Elliott. I expect to see those two strong for the next 10 races, and including here this weekend in Texas. Now, I mean, we have seen so far 10 different winners on the season, one of those not in the playoffs, though, with Parker Retzlaff, your Talladega winner, who's not scored currently in the top 30 in the standings. Now, at the end of this episode, I will have an official update on where Christian Eckes actually stacks up in the standings, as he, of course, in the game is scored in the playoffs, but we take his points away from his injury that he picked up and missed 4 races while Josh Berry was substituting in that number 6. So stay tuned for the end of the episode for that as we come into qualifying. Texas is a track that I just don't enjoy no matter what the situation is ever since they reconfigured the track nearly 10 years ago, which is hard to believe it's been nearly 10 years at this point. This track is just awful, and it, however, usually produces a pretty spectacular, crazy career mode race just about every time we come here. So wouldn't be surprised if we see history repeat itself again here today in Texas as we come through down this front straightaway through the tri-oval, way off the goal by 0.4 of a second, putting us P18 for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 here from Texas Motor Speedway. So obviously, some work to do. Looking up at the front on pole, it's Ryan Blaney and his 2311 teammate Tyler Reddick there. The front row, Chastain, Trackhouse, Zillage there, 3rd and 4th. Then it's HMS 5th and 6th with Byron and Larson there. My teammate of Noah Gregson rounding up the top 10. As you see, Busch down in 29th, one of the bubble drivers, as you see the rest of the qualifying order. We had the Amazon Prime Series in Texas this weekend as well, where we saw Andres Perez for Andretti Global pick up his second win of the season over John Hunter Nemechek, Chase Purdy, Suarez, all up there in the top 5, as you see the rest of the finishing order there. So Perez really stepping up here in his second season. Wouldn't be shocked to see him in a Cup ride in season 6. Let's go Cup racing Sunday from Texas.
We're on to Texas. We're heading towards the final 10 races of the regular season. Brad, when do drivers start focusing on the playoff picture?
Right about now, Mike. The intensity picks up a ton over the next 10 races. Bubble drivers need to consistently step up from here on out.
All right, guys, great effort there last week in Martinsville. A shame that we didn't quite have that long run speed we needed, but let's stay after today. The track got struggled out a lot in the past, so just try to focus on a top 10.
Be patient today. It will take this car a while to come in.
Brad Keselowski in the booth and not in the car this weekend. Had him in the booth and in the car last weekend like an idiot. We're ready to go racing here alongside our JRM teammate of Carson Hocevar, seeking his 3rd win of his Cup Series career here in Texas. Green flag is out. Ryan Blaney and his teammate of Tyler Reddick lead the field down into turn 1. Ryan Blaney, a 4-win season last season in season number 4, but obviously we have yet to see him get to victory lane here with 2311. Ryan Blaney has shown up a lot with speed this season, but he's had some rough luck, which has led to the finishes that we wouldn't expect from that 23, and he is right now in the bubble area for the playoff picture. Now Tyler Reddick, he's very similar to what we've seen out of Tyler Reddick the last several seasons of this career mode, where he's not winning, but he's comfortably in the playoffs. He's really got right now not much concern when it comes to the regular season standings. Zane Smith in that 12 for Penske Racing forces us 3 wide. Haven't seen a lot out of him this season. Penske really struggling as a whole outside of the 22 of Logano, who's kind of stepped up and got that win earlier in the season. He's in the playoffs, of course, now, but his teammates of Smith and Gilliland really haven't gone anywhere. Penske has kind of taken another step back, it feels like, this season as a whole, and I felt like Ryan Blaney leaving was going to do exactly that. And Logano, who originally was planning to retire, of course, that really would have put Penske, I think, in a terrible position as we head down this back straightaway. Speaking of retirement, Kyle Busch has been in the conversation of potential retirement at the end of this season for the last few episodes now, so something we really need to keep an eye on there for Trackhouse now. And Busch was asked about it this weekend in the media center, and basically he addressed it by just saying he has nothing to share right now, but the rumors are swirling about Kyle Busch and retirement. More often than not, when you get a lot of rumors, they end up being quite oftenly true here. So we'll wait and stay tuned, but Kyle Busch could very well be calling it a Cup Series career following this season. He is another driver that's in the bubble area for the playoffs. It's not been an easy season for Kyle Busch. He, of course, won 2 races last season with Trackhouse. This now his 3rd season with the team and trying to find more success, but it really hasn't been the season I expected for him. There's his teammate of Zilich, who started in the top 5. He's down to 20th and going further backwards. That 0-0 struggling early on. Zilich down to 21st as we clear him with ease. Kyle Larson as well out in front. Didn't take long for that number 5 HenderCars.com Chevrolet, Cadillac I should say, not Chevrolet, to get to the lead of this race. Larson winless on the season. Him and Elliott highest in the regular season standings without wins. Now as we look to the inside of Kyle Busch here, 3 wide, and we made the move up into P17 as well. Chandler Smith, look at Chase Elliott go. He started deep down the order just like myself, but he is moving forward. He passes the 22 and the 6 of Logano and Eckes. Jesse Love as well up here in the mix, having a strong run, but we would get past him. Look to the inside of that Shell Pennzoil 22 of Logano into turn 1. We're clear of Joey Logano for 15th position as we continue to try and claw our way forward. Texas is a track where it's all about patience for myself. I know that this run as it goes long will benefit me quite a bit, so it's just about hanging on for the first about 10 laps or so of every run, and if I can do that, then we can basically spend the next 10 laps of the run to 12 or 13 laps really pouncing on some pace, and that's exactly what's happening now. And actually the 2 of Todd Gilliland had some engine issues and had to come down the pit lane and repair that, so he has already scored a lap down here. Now as we would eventually clear the 6 of Eckes as we exit turn 2 on lap 14, we can go to about lap 22, 23 on field. So we very well have a nice green flag run to kick off this race here in Texas. We're up to 14th and quickly running down the 19 of Alex Bowman in that Ally Financial Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, his first season with Joe Gibbs now, and he is having a very strong season to say the least. Now, he ran a bit rough last episode in Martinsville, had some moments where he looked good, had some moments where he didn't look so good, and here he is today running outside the top 10 as we have gotten to the inside of him as we approach lap 20. This will move us through into P13. That 19 not going to be able to put up much of a fight at all. So we move up into the 13th spot as the 48's into the pits. Carruth is going to open up the pit cycle, and everybody comes in over the next lap, including myself, Larson, and others, and Eric Jones stays out. He was running up towards the top 5. He's been having a very strong run, but we're going to come in and make a very minor adjustment on the wedge by going down by 0.1, just to loosen it up just a tiny bit. It would end up being a 15.2 second pit stop, and actually the 19 of Alex Bowman, after we pass him, he's going to be able to get us back in the pits, but we get in front of the 9 of Elliott, who had a pretty poor pit stop, so we lose a spot to the 19, gain a spot over the 9. There goes Rajah Carruth, who pitted 1 lap earlier. He is gone, saying see you later. Eric Jones in the 34 now into the pits. Look at the 19 struggling on exit. We breeze past the 19 and open up a large gap immediately on Alex Bowman, but right now just hoping no caution comes out because we are 1 lap down until we come back around here on the exit of 4 down the front straightaway to clear the 34. So now back onto the lead lap into turn 1, running down Chandler Smith as well as Jesse Love. Caution is out, and it's for the 48 of Rajah Carruth, your Martinsville winner, as Buscher is out in front coming into the pits, and it's going to be about 8 cars trapped a lap down. It looks like Priest and Zilic the first few. Rajah Caruth blows a tire in the middle of 1 and 2. Fortunately, he was already up the racetrack. That would have been a huge hit, and it's actually going to be day over for the 48. That overstock Cadillac done for the day, but he's already locked in the playoffs with his win in Martinsville. So we're back racing with 11 laps to go, and Chris Buescher, with the timing of that caution, gets to maintain the lead. He was able to do his pit stop there, and now he is out in front down into turn number 1. I was a bit surprised. I was trying to figure out how the 17 hadn't pitted yet, but we weren't a lap down. Maybe because he was so buried in the field, of course. He had a pretty poor qualifying effort, down in 29th position. So maybe it's something to do with just how far back he was. That would be my guess, at least now, as we are side by side with Chandler Smith as we exit turn 4, coming to 10 laps to go in stage 1. Ryan Blaney, your pole winner, outside the top 10 already as we head down into turn 1. Carson Hocevar goes way up the racetrack now, just behind his other teammate of mine, Noah Gregson, as we continue rolling through 1 and 2. And you see that Ford gets a nice boost there down the back straightaway, but obviously right now, I mean, everything's just kind of gridlocked on these restarts. You can't go anywhere, but who is going somewhere? Kyle Larson back to the point. Larson to the top of the board here as we exit turn 4 with under 10 laps to go in the stage now. That's 17 of Buescher. He might have restarted P1, but he is tumbling down the order quickly now on fresh tires as well. He has fresher tires than everybody else by only about a lap or 2, but you can tell that 17 Fastenal Ford Mustang doesn't quite have the speed. Another playoff bubble driver. It's crazy to think we're already talking about the playoff bubble, but I mean, following today, we've only got 10 races left in the regular season. Going into the next episode, it will be Michigan, the 2-mile D-shaped oval. So it's hard to believe how quickly this season is going, but look at the 17 falling down the order while we have joined the conversation for the top 10 and some stage points. Chase Elliott trying to rebound in my rear view mirror from that poor pit stop under green flag conditions to get himself back up in the running order. I think he's got a car capable of fighting for the win here in Texas. You can just see, watching in the mirror, he stands out more than anybody else. He's just downright faster than all of us in this kind of vicinity as the 17 drives way out to the outside wall, opening up the door for me to get past him, but it was short-lived because then I would allow the 6 of X to my inside and he would get me through 3 and 4, and Byron would as well, and then Byron eventually passes the 6, which opens the door back up for myself to get back up into the conversation for P10. But here comes that Napa Auto Parts number 9 Cadillac driver of Chase Elliott just in our mirror right there. He's going to pass the 6 of Ekasu 1 and 2. Byron goes way up the racetrack. Not going to be able to do anything right here as we wash up the track, opening up the door for the 9, who would get to the inside and clear us through 3 and 4. And again, we lose P10 to Chase Elliott, who continues to march his way forward. Kyle Larson in control as we approach the final lap of stage number 1. Elliott up to 9th. Byron P10. Hendrick Motorsports looking very strong. Caution out. P11 it'll be in the stage winner, the number 5 of Kyle Larson. Very strong start to this race. Now we get to the normal mile and a half, and Larson's looking strong as usual. Chastain, Hocevar, Bell, and Reddick, your top 5. Gibbs there in P6 now as we put that wedge to 49.9. And there's the replay. Briscoe goes around in 3 and 4, loses a tire, gets it straightened out immediately, but blows that right rear or left rear. Caution flies to end the stage a lap early as stage 2 will get underway. Everybody made a pit stop, and we gain 1 spot over the 24, and that's not what I want, because here we are, P10, that's great, we're inside the top 10, but the number 1 lane that I don't want to be in on a restarted Texas is this one right here, the outside lane. I just cannot go anywhere on the top, especially with the disadvantage I have compared to some of these other guys on a short run. So I really struggle restarting on the outside lane, but obviously nothing we can really do about it. So Kyle Larson actually runs way up the racetrack, opening up the door for the 4 of Carson Hocevar to take the lead of this race. Hocevar trying to put JRM into victory lane again for the 4th time this season. 3 times they've gone to victory lane this season, all with us in this target number 8. Now Tyler Reddick takes over the lead here in that number 45 as Kyle Busch goes 2 on myself, and we'll cross him over there. Look back to the inside, but actually give him a bit of a boost into turn 1. He would pass the 19 of Alex Bowman. I would follow through shortly after here on lap 4 of 34 in this second stage. So we'll clear that 19, and here comes that 23 of Ryan Blaney now trying to get to my inside down this back straightaway. We would stay clear though. into turn 1, so we're able to kind of keep control over this 14th spot. Chastain now to the lead of this race, our Mid-Ohio winner. This is going to be the first race in, what, 3 races where we're not going to be just straight up battling with that one car, so we can kind of calm things down a little bit between myself and Chastain, which is a nice difference for once, but I'm sure it won't be long until we're running around each other again. Obviously, Texas is a track that just has never treated me that great, and I don't really come here expecting to be fighting for a win unless something crazy happens, as Kyle Larson has returned to the lead of this race. But I do expect going into next episode in Michigan to be able to hopefully fight up towards the top 10 easily, but Michigan is another track I have had some struggles at, so maybe a couple of races back to back where we might not be the top driver here. Now, of course, 3 wins on the season, the most of anybody. A few drivers, of course, do have 2 wins now. I mean, you look at Christopher Bell, he's been having a strong season as well, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can continue that strength that he carried from winning the championship last season throughout the entirety of season 5 here. Now, as we're right on the back of Ryan Blaney, now back to the left rear of him, side by side, and now at this point the tires are wearing, the run's getting longer, the advantage is starting to sway in my favor. Tyler Reddick back to the lead, so it seems like Reddick and Larson are the fastest cars here, but I can confirm Chase Elliott has driven up into the top 3. Elliott is now mixing it up with the leaders as well. So what can Chase Elliott pull off here now as this race continues to go on? We've added a new competitor into the mix now. Sammy Smith slides, and that Andretti Global 27, I mean, the drift of your life, you've seen it right there. Yellow is out, however, for that. Caution flies. Todd Gilliland will get the free pass. Zillage is having a terrible day, down in 34th, as we will all pit for tires and fuel, and unfortunately we gain a spot and move up into P10 on the outside, just like at the end of stage 1 going into the start of stage 2. So we get back underway, and now immediately not where we want to be. We're going to have 14 laps to go. We restart on the outside. Tyler Reddick in control of this race. So now it's all about getting back down to the inside and then just hanging on. But of course, by the time we start to see the advantage on the tires here, the caution's pretty well going to come out and end stage 2. So we're not going to be able to really utilize the advantage very much, unfortunately, here in the end of this stage. So it's all about just kind of hanging on. Now as Eric Jones goes through to the inside of the 24 Exalta Cadillac now. William Byron has actually cracked the outside wall there down the straightaway. That's an embarrassing one. We hit it, we lose the speed. Eckes goes through. The 23 of Blaney as well goes through. Here comes Eckes in that Yahoo Toyota Camry for the number 18 machine down this back straightaway. We drop down to the 15th position, trying to get the draft from the 23 to clear the 18. Not going to happen. Larson back out in front, bringing Carson Hocevar into the mix. So it's Larson, Hocevar, Reddick, and Elliott, your top 4. Carson Hocevar has been getting after it on these restarts so far. Watch out for him as this race goes on, as we would get cleared by that 18 and the 33 of Love, as we would get to the inside though of Chandler Smith on lap 24. Now, Hocevar had gotten to the lead. Alex Bowman sends it into turn 3 and forces it 3 wide up the inside, and it worked. I mean, more credit to him. I mean, he pulled that one off, kind of caught me completely off guard as we have 10 to go in the stage, and we drop further down than I wanted as the yellow flies again, and it's for the 9. It's Chase Elliott there. You see the smoke pouring out of the car, very faint, but the caution's out for the 9. He's going to have to pit, and they're going to have to fix that. Not day over for the 9. Chase Elliott will remain in this race, but we just went from seeing him fighting for the lead and a potential win. Now he's going to have to crawl his way forward over the course of the end of stage 2, which is very short, and then that third and final stage. He's got about 7 laps to pull it off here to set himself up as best as he can for that third stage. We're back underway. 7 laps to go here in stage number 2. What can we do? Again, restarting on the outside. Not the position we really want to be in here as we roll through 1 out of turn 2 down this back straightaway. A shot to the back of the Ally Financial, number 19 of Alex Bowman. Don't want to go 3 wide to the outside. Really one of the top tracks that I don't want to go 3 wide outside on a restart. We're just going to go nowhere. So continuing to just do what I can to get down to the inside and get that opportunity in. If it is right here, it is. We clear the 12 of Zane Smith into turn 1. Hocevar out in front right now, coming to the final 5 laps of the stage. Larson's kind of been shuffled back a little bit here on this restart. Tyler Reddick still up there in the mix in about second position now, as we got Joe Gibbs right here, 14th and 15th side by side. Hocevar runs up the racetrack, and he would open the door for the 45 Monster Energy Beast Camry of Tyler Reddick to get back up into his into the mix of this fight for the lead. He's right on the back bumper of the 4 through 1 and 2. We'll clear the 18 and the 19 in the last few corners and up into 14th, and then we would run down Ryan Blaney coming to 4 to go in the stage. Christian Eck is having a very strong run here in Texas as well in P12 right now on this run into turn 1. I believe that 6 car, I think, is the best running RFK Ford Mustang today. I mean, they're just not having a great day as a whole. Justin Haley continues to struggle as usual, as rumors about him continue to kind of go around as well about his future with RFK now, as Tyler Reddick leads in these last few moments. He got past that 4 of Hocevar now as we start the final lap of stage 2, getting to the inside of the Tootsie's Honda Civic of Kyle Busch for Trackhouse Racing. We'll get him into turn 1. Can we clear him? He's trying to fight back on the outside. Not enough. We clear that 99. Jesse Love there in P10. I don't think I'm going to get him unless I can get to the inside in turn 3. It won't happen, as sure enough that won't not work. So Love should be able to hang on to P10 as we show the nose. Not enough. Tyler Reddick is going to come through to win stage 2 over Hocevar, Kyle Larson, Bell, and Gregson. Your top 5. We got 2 junior motorsports cars in the top 5. Myself here in P11. Caution flies to end the stage. We'll pit for 4 tires and feel. The car was driving okay. I didn't really feel like I could do much more at this point to the car adjustment wise, so I just said, okay, let's just kind of hang with it and see what we can do. Kyle Larson loses 8 spots in the pits, and that forces me into the outside. Of course it did. We get stage 3 underway. A poor pit stop for the number 5. That's 2 blows to the top 2 HMS cars of the day here in the last 10 laps or so. Chastain slow to launch on the run into turn 1. No one's able to take advantage. He'll close back up to the 20 of Bell, nonetheless, through 1 and 2. And Larson, we're going to have to watch him now claw his way forward as we give a shot to the back of the 24 down this back straightaway. We continue to follow him into turn number 3. Larson side by side. Here comes Kyle Busch as well. Ryan Blaney is going to be putting some pressure on us as we exit turn 4, as I nearly lost it on the exit of 4. The car kind of bobbled there. Unfortunately, he gets down to the inside and is able to follow Busch past me. How about Ryan Preece for Rick Ware Racing in this number 51 to my inside here at the left rear? He would clear us through 3 and out of turn 4. Ryan Preece into P13. I immediately switch back and get to his inside here on the run into turn 1. 40 laps to go. Tyler Reddick in control of this race. He's trying to end a 2 season long, pretty well, winless streak here today in Texas. Could this be the day for Tyler Reddick now, as Rajan Caruth finally picked up his first win of his career in Martinsville? Can Reddick get his first win in nearly 2 seasons today? Caution flies. It's the 28 of Bubba Wallace with an engine failure. That's going to bring out the yellow, and it looks like it's going to be day over from the looks of it there for Bubba Wallace. Haley will get the free pass, and we'll all get ready to go racing. Nobody pits because we cannot make it if we pit from here, so we're all going to stay on the racetrack and get ready to go back racing here now as we're back underway from the 13th position, finally on the inside line with 35 laps to go. Directly behind this 99 of Kyle Busch, who's to the inside of the 24 of William Byron. Kyle Larson's marching his way back forward. A terrible start for the outside lane there, led by Reddick and Bell. Gibbs as well. 3 Toyotas there on the top in front of the pair of Cadillacs of Love and Byron. Into turn 3 we go, following this 99, and now Carson Hocevar to the lead of this race as well. To mention, as we slide again on the exit of turn 4, that's the second time we've really had back-to-back anyways issues out of turn 4. We have kind of faced some issues out of turn 4 in terms of car stability all race long. That's always a thing at Texas in NASCAR Heat 5, and certainly we're noticing it again as usual here today as we clear Jesse Love in that Wheeling Cadillac as we exit turn 4. Back into the top 10 we go, and it's just a matter of time until we start to feel the advantage of the tires. Now coming to lap 87, and we're starting to wheel in the 99. Crash again. 51 of Preece out of turn 4, crashes, spins around, gets it straightened out, gets it back going, but that will bring him into the pits. Bubba Wallace was still racing. That engine issue did not end his race, but Preece, I believe, is done. Ryan Preece will be out of the race race with that one. Caution out again, and we all stay out again because we still cannot make it by pitting here. So we're gonna stay out and get ready to go for yet another restart led by Carson Hocevar. Chase Elliott, I was about to mention before that crash, has worked his way up into P11. There is still enough time. These cautions are helping this 9. 28 to go, and we're starting to see a repeat now of Charlotte. Cautions, cautions, cautions. I mean, it feels like every 10 laps, not even, we're seeing a caution come out, and that kind of felt like the trend in the Coke 600, and we're seeing it again here from Texas Motor Speedway now behind the 54 of Ty Gibbs, of course, your Season 3 champion, as we're right to the back bumper of him in turn 3. Hocevar leads over Chastain. Larson in the third, Reddick's dropping to 5th behind Gregson in the 88. He fights alongside him as I fight alongside the 9, but a awkward entry into turn 1 allows the 9 to get clear, and that 23 of Ryan Blaney to go for the position as well, but we're clear between Blaney and the cars behind. We'll slice to the inside, get back to the inside of the 23 into turn 3, and we'll try to fight back for the 11th position. Can Chase Elliott work his way back up into the mix? We know Larson is no longer leading. That's going to help the 9, but Larson would fight back to the inside of Chastain for second as I did clear that 23, and now was holding uncomfortably to P11 in the fight with the 9 and the 99. A pass in the grass type style right there, putting the left sides into the grass into turn 1. Just make sure I got alongside Kyle Busch and carried that momentum off into the corner. So nonetheless, we'll continue this march back into the top 10, and we clear Kyle Busch and actually open up a gap, and Kyle Larson had gotten back to the lead over Carson Hocevar now, as now Elliott's it's kind of his calling. You gotta go, and we would clear Gregson and get alongside this 34 of Eric Jones. Now we are about in the fuel window here within another lap or so. 23 laps. It can stretch it to 23 laps on fuel, so we could pit right here at the end of this lap, and we would be able to make it to the end of this race. Now, as we go to the inside of the 9 and the 54, they both run high. We'll clear the 9, kind of forces hand to back out of it on the exit of 2. He cuts us a break there. Now, Hocevar back to the lead as we slice to the inside of the 54 of Gibbs. And now we're running better than we've run all race long, but Larson's back to the lead in the number 5. They're scrapping it out for the lead up there as we fight alongside Gibbs for the 6th position. We would clear him through 1 and 2, but unfortunately doing that, I forced his hand up the track, and that opens the door for the 9. Elliott back to my inside on this one, down into turn 3. We'll kind of take it easy on him. We know he's a lot faster. We'll settle back in line to the inside as the fuel light is on. Pits are about to get hot here now, but the 31 spins into turn 1. Brent Cruz, Rookie of the Year contender for Richard Childress Racing, brings out a yellow seconds before the pit lane was about to get flooded, including myself. I was planning to pit right there because the leaders were also about to pit. Everybody now is going to pit with 17 to go. Simple call. Fill it up with fuel. Take 4 tires. We maintain P7. Reddick loses a spot, and so does Bell as we get ready to go back racing here behind Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, the front row. We're back racing again. It's been a caution-filled stage 3. 14 laps remain here to the inside of the DeWalt 20 Toyota Camry of former teammate and defending champ Christopher Bell. Now is right to the back of this 9 Cadillac as we roll through 1 out of turn 2. Just look in the mirror there. You got the 34 of Eric Jones, who's had a top 10 run all day long. That's about where we expect to see that 34 running as a single car team this season in the Daytona 500 champs. Now, Larson up the track using the momentum, but is he going to leave himself vulnerable to Chastain as we hit 13 laps ago? No, Larson stays clear, but he goes all the way up the racetrack again. Here comes Chase Elliott back up into the mix now. Chastain to the lead, looking for win number 2 on the season, following that Mid-Ohio victory a few races back now as we continue to struggle with that short run pace. On the short run, I don't have a 7th place car, so it's all about hanging on as Chase Elliott has gotten to the inside of the 1. He's going to take the lead as we wash up the track. Here comes Eric Jones to my inside. He'll pass us down this front straightaway, and unfortunately Byron would follow him into turn 1 and get to my inside as well, and Elliott, coming to 10 to go, is starting to open up the gap now by a few car lengths over Chastain, and now Hocevar, who's moved up into P2. We are 3 wide middle. Things are not going well here as we drop to P11 with 10 laps to go. What a race it's been, and another caution. It's for the 17. The right front goes down. The smoke flies out. Caution flies. It's going to be day over from the looks of it for the 17 of Chris Buescher. That's going to be a huge points loss for a playoff bubble driver. No one pits. It's straight up racing to the end. And now we hope that maybe we got a bit of a tire advantage as these laps have gone on. We've only got 7 laps to go. Chase Elliott leads the field back to green with Carson Hocevar alongside him. Chastain Larson row 2. You got Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell row 3. What can that number 4 of Hocevar pull off here? Now he's restarting in a really bad spot. P2 just not where you want to restart here at Texas unless the guy in first just can't launch. Then that's your only opportunity. You got to get clear and get down into turn 1. Obviously not the case at all as Chastain moves through. Now into second, trying to bring Tyler Reddick with him. Kyle Larson's not going anywhere, but he eventually gets down to the inside. You can see that blue bumper up there in front of us, and he actually is going to get through on Chastain. Now Larson's going to get back up in a second. Chase Elliott still leads this race, however, as we come to 4 to go, and now it's Kyle Larson who would get to the inside of Elliott and take the lead back and bring Hocevar and Reddick with him. Elliott drops to 4th as I find the 34 of Eric Jones to battle with, but now it's Kyle Larson back out in front, approaching the final 3 laps. Hocevar, Reddick, 2nd, 3rd, Elliott, Chastain, 4th, and 5th. As we're alongside this 34 as we exit turn 4, we slide, we overcorrect contact with the 34, we both slide, we try to save it. Kyle Busch finishes us off. We slide through the infield. Caution not out. Do we stay green for now? Will it fly? Yes, it will. And we've been struggling on that turn 4 exit all day long, and it finally gets us right when I was pushing just a little bit too hard to try and complete that pass, and we paid the price. And now we're going to go to overtime. We are going to pit. We're 32nd. We're just going to throw tires on it and we give up 5 spots and restart 37th and see what happens. I just completely threw our race away there, running top 10. NASCAR overtime underway. Kyle Larson out in front. What a wild final stage, to say the least, here from Texas. It's been caution-filled, and now Kyle Larson is eyeing down win 1 of the season. Reddick follows him into second. Hocevar drops down the order alongside Chastain. Reddick hasn't won in nearly 2 seasons. What is he willing to do on the run into turn 3? Approaching the final lap, Larson goes high. Reddick to the inside for the lead of this race. Larson's giving the lead to Tyler Reddick as we exit turn 4, the 45. To the lead as the white flag is waving. 1 lap to go. Larson now back out in front on the run into turn number 1. They're side by side. Larson continues up the racetrack, and Tyler Reddick takes the lead officially in clear of the number 5, and everybody else on the exit of turn 2. Hocevar gonna follow, as well as Chastain down the SPAC straightaway. We're back into the top 30. We might be able to pass a few more cars, but make way for the 45 of Tyler Reddick in 2311 Racing. Nearly 2 seasons winless. It's over. Tyler Reddick is back to victory lane. He holds off Larson after stealing it from the number 5. In NASCAR overtime, Tyler Reddick wins in Texas over Larson, Chastain, Hocevar, and Bell, your top 5. Elliott drops to 6 over Byron Gibbs, Jones, and Gregson, the top 10. Both of my junior motorsports teammates with top 10 results as we rebound to P25 right at the end. How about Connor Zillage up to 24th after running in the mid-30s all day? He actually found some speed as that race went on. Buescher, Priest, Carruth all at the bottom of the grid with DNFs. So, following Texas, you see the updated playoff standings, and I have an update on that guy, Christian Eckes. So his tally in points is not 325. So following his injury, he missed 4 races, which actually puts him at 247 points. So he is outside the playoffs by, well, basically Ryan Blaney's the last one in at 317. So you do the math right there. He nearly needs to make up about 80 points or so if he wants to get into the playoffs, which is not a lost cause, but that puts Zillage, the first one out, by 10 points. Michigan coming up next, and I hear we might have an announcement coming in Michigan, so stay tuned on that. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.